takes it in overtime. Brady can shot, breakaway shoots, scores!
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon and I am your host tonight. Ottawa took on the New Jersey Devils in a game in which the Senators are looking to snap a 7-game losing streak. That's right, 7 straight losses potentially tonight if they lose against the Devils. Funnily enough, the Devils have won 7 in a row, so a very tough test against a very tough New Jersey Devils team. They're one of the best teams in the National Hockey League this season, so a hell of a test tonight for Ottawa looking to snap one of their worst losing streaks in the last few years. Now, some pregame notes. Firstly, Nikita Zaitsev put on waivers. A shocking move. He was not claimed, and he's now with the Belleville Senators of the AHL. That frees up $4.5 million of cap space, which means the Senators might bring in another player. Apparently, it's been reported that the Senators, Pierre Dorion, the general manager, is looking at Vancouver and Winnipeg for potential landing spots to acquire a defenseman. So we'll see what happens with that. Definitely, I would expect the Senators to use that $4.5 million of cap space. As well, Magnus Hellberg, for whatever reason, was put on waivers as well. Of course, was claimed as expected from Seattle, his former team. And just a big loss for Ottawa, frankly. The goaltending depth takes a huge hit with this loss. And I don't really understand why we, waived Magnus Hellberg. Firstly, I definitely think we could have got something for him in a trade if you wanted to go that route. But overall, Ottawa needs that depth. I'm sorry, Forsberg and Talbot dealt with injuries so far this year. And Mandolese and Sogard, they're not NHL goaltenders yet. They're still developing in the AHL. You need a third goalie, and they had the roster space available. So I would have kept Hellberg here. They don't. Seattle claims him. So best of luck in Seattle, Magnus Hellberg. And before we get into the game recap, I'll just say this. I'm not going to be making a video for the next few days. I have a wedding this weekend, so hopefully I'll be back for Monday's game against the Islanders or on Wednesday, I believe, against the Sabres. I'll be back early next week, though. So let's get into the game recap. And, this game was something else. And I'm not going to ruin it because this was actually a back-and-forth game, so I do want to go through the game. But, it's just unbelievable how this team cannot get any bounces. But anyways, 4 minutes into the first period of play, and it's all Devils right away. 4 minutes in, Holden can't clear the puck. Tatar is alone out front. Shot gets deflected off Parker Kelly's leg and in. And the Senators are down by 1 early. It's 1-0 Devils on the power play goal for New Jersey. But 3 minutes later, huge left pad stop from Anton Forsberg, keeping the Senators in it as usual. That was one of his 10 massive stops tonight. Honestly, gave the Senators a chance to win throughout the game. Had a bad goal, I think. I think we'll talk about it later, his second one. But overall, fantastic game for Forsberg. But he makes that big stop. And then 6 minutes later, Claude Giroux, he's on the power play. He's at the point. He finds Shane Pinto. And the Senators tie it up. It's 1-1. Shane Pinto, his 7th goal of the season on a beautiful setup from Claude Giroux. A 7-game point streak for Claude Giroux as well. Unbelievable. 5 goals in that stretch. And suddenly the Senators tie it up. It's 1-1. Thank you, Forsberg, for the stop. And thank you, Pinto, for the goal. Senators even it at 1 apiece. And then a minute later, a hammer for the point from Travis Hamonic. And the Senators take the lead. It's 2-1. Hamonic has goals in back-to-back games. And suddenly, holy cow, the Senators, against one of the better teams in the National Hockey League, are up by a goal. Can they hold the lead? Well, you already know the answer, obviously, but we find out a few minutes later. Nico Hischier off a rush at the blue line, takes a shot. Forsberg, you have to stop this one. Goes glove side, just inexcusable. 50 feet away from the net, have to stop it. He doesn't. 2-2 game as we go to the second period of play. Just another late period goal for the Ottawa Senators, and that's been a consistent theme throughout this season. And, that's on coaching for sure, but that's also on the players. Play hard till the final 20 minutes of the period, and they're not. And that's probably the 6th game in a row, or 7th game in a row, I guess, during this losing streak where we've given up a goal in the last couple minutes of the period. So after 20 minutes of play, it's a 2-2 game, and honestly, we go to the second period here, and it's all Devils. In the first 5 minutes, the shots were 10-1 Devils. The Senators did not play a second period that we were hoping for. After a strong middle of the first period, they just completely imploded in the early part of the second period, and it bites them. 3-2 Devils. Brandstrom gets beat in the corner. McLeod walks in front of the net. Senators cannot clear the puck. Miles Wood puts it home. 3-2 on the rebound goal. And suddenly, after momentum looked great for Ottawa, a late goal in the first period, an early goal in the second period, and suddenly they're down by a goal. It's 3-2. Later on in that period, like I said, Ottawa got outshot heavily in that period. After the second period of play, the shots overall were 32-15 in favor of New Jersey. Forsberg, frankly, made some huge stops in that period, just like in the first, keeping the Sanders in it, going to the third period of play. Ottawa is 0-5-0 when trailing after 40 minutes of play this season. Let's see if they can get their first win of the year. And look, 2 minutes in, it's looking good. Shane Pinto with a beautiful shot, top shelf on Vanacek. His second of the night, first time in his NHL career, he's gotten 2 goals in a night. It's 3-3, and his buddies in the crowd are losing their minds as Pinto was born an hour away from Prudential Center there in Newark, New Jersey. But Ottawa, hey, look, it's suddenly a 3-3 game. We're back in it, baby. And, overall in that third period, the Sounders played pretty well. Forsberg made some big stops, but they really locked it down, kept a good pace with the Devils. And they weren't outworked in that third period, so I did like the response. So we go to overtime now. We get the point, so it's our first point in 7 games, but we need that second point. Yeah, that 1 point's nice, but let's complete the job. Let's get the second point. We go to overtime. The Sounders get a power play in the last 3.5 minutes of the overtime period. And I don't know how to say this, but Schmid, the New Jersey Devils' third goaltender, because Mackenzie Blackwood's hurt and Vanacek went down in this game, so he wasn't there for the overtime period. Schmid stood on his head on that power play. He made so many stops. And frankly, I think the Sounders are cursed, because after that power play, there's 40 seconds left in overtime. And yeah, you guessed it. Sounders lose in overtime 4-3. And I just don't know what to say anymore. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable how this team finds ways to lose. And you know what they say? Good teams find ways to win. Bad teams find a way to lose. And the Sounders have found many ways to lose. And tonight was another example of them finding ways to lose. They just can't bury the puck. And you can say all you want, fire DJ Smith. And frankly, 7 losses in a row, that definitely warrants a firing for sure. But at the same time, you can't blame the coach if they're not putting the puck in the net when they're getting chances. And that's just the fact. I'm sorry. DeBrincat, who's looked fantastic tonight, just is getting stifled again. Had a great chance in overtime. Couldn't put the puck in the back of the net. Shabbat played 31 minutes tonight. Holy cow. We got to stop overplaying this guy. He looks terrible when he's being overstretched like this. The fatigue is really catching up to him. 31 minutes. You're not going to survive much longer if you're Tom Shabbat playing that many minutes. So either we need to bring in a guy or give some more minutes to Jake Sanderson, because that is unbelievable. What else is there? Forsberg left out the dry. How many times does the Senators have to give a chance to the opposing team out front? How many times does Forsberg have to dive out to cover the puck because the Senators are absolutely clueless in front of the net? Absolutely clueless. The Miles Wood goal is a prime example of this. They lose the board battle, as they do often. They don't get to the front of the net as they got caught puck watching. No one's there to pick it up. They're just watching it go in. It's unbelievable. Every single game, the net front is wide open for any opposing player. And if you're going to win games, and if you're playing, DJ Smith's style is supposed to be physical, right? Well, box your man out in front of the net. Don't let them walk in. Knock them down. It's unbelievable how they just walk in like it's free real estate. It's unbelievable, and you're not going to win many games like that, obviously. And they're not. They're 4-9 on the season. Give me a break. 4-9. The season is not over yet. Obviously, we could go on a crazy winning streak here. It's still very early in the season. But look, we are a month and a half into the season, okay? A month and a half. And we are 7-8 points out of a playoff spot. Good luck. Good luck coming back and climbing your way back into that. They even tie Washington in the second wildcard spot. Good luck. Seriously, if they can't put the puck in the net and they don't switch things real soon, if they don't rebound on Saturday against the Flyers, 8 losses in a row, I don't know what to tell you. And once again, to the DJ Smith, the ones that want DJ Smith to be fired, even if you're in the camp where you're kind of iffy on it, you don't really want DJ Smith to be fired, which is me, of course, because I'm definitely in that camp, because who would replace DJ Smith? And once again, you can't really blame DJ Smith for the missed opportunities. Of course, you can blame him for the defensive liabilities. But if you lose 8 in a row, it feels like a time where Ottawa is just going to be forced to make a move because they're just losing games. And, if you lose 8 games in a row, I don't know how many coaches would survive that. So, I don't know if, honestly, it's possible that DJ Smith gets fired after this game, even if Pierre Dorion said the other day he wouldn't. He said that about Guy Boucher as well. So, yeah, it's really, really, really up in the air right now. 7 losses in a row. Zaitsev's on waivers. He went down to the AHL. They're making moves. They're trying to make some changes, and Zaitsev was the first domino to fall, and DJ Smith might be the second one. So we'll see. But another loss for Ottawa tonight. 4-3 loss in overtime. I got nothing else to say, honestly. It's the same BS every game. They give up goals out front. They can't clear guys out front of the net. They're leaving Forsberg out to dry, and they're not putting the puck on net. And when they do, they get robbed somehow. So it is what it is. It happens to a lot of teams in the National Hockey League. They go through moments like this where they can't put the puck in the net or things aren't going their way. But, I mean, just the luck that the Sanders have gotten these last 7 games has been non-existent. And, I mean, I just don't know how you fix it. I mean, the power play is one huge example of what the coaches really need to fix. I mean, they had like 2 power plays today where they didn't even get a shot on net during those power plays. Of course, in overtime, they had that power play. But they were robbed multiple times, so I'm not going to fault them for that. They just got robbed. I mean, you could say lift the puck, this, that, but look, it's easier said than done. The goaltender was just standing on his head. But the Sanders are just not getting the puck bounces right now, and I don't know how you fix that. I'm not an NHL coach, but, you know, at the end of the day, they have to start winning. They have to start winning. I mean, when's the last time the Sanders lost 8 games in a row? We didn't even do that during the peak of the rebuild, so... I mean, with the lineup we have right now, DeBrincat, Batherson, Stützle, Tkachuk, of course, Giroux, Shabbat, Sanderson, the list goes on, Pinto. How many good players do we have? We have so many good players. We need to start winning games. And, of course, the defense is a liability. Holden hasn't looked great. Brandstrom didn't look good again today. So I'm not going to act like DJ Smith doesn't play a part in the defensive issues. I'm not going to act like the defense is not an issue. It is. But the whole team is an issue right now. I'm sorry. They're generating chances, and they're either not hitting those chances or they're just completely missing the net to begin with. So, tough loss. Kind of rambling here, so I'll cut the video short. But yeah, Sens lose 4-3. The only positive really is Tkachuk looks great. I saw him really being a leader on the bench. He was being stern with Tim Stützle, for example. I saw Everyday Sens put out a tweet showing that video. And I think that's great because I think a leader needs to step up, especially during times like this. So it's great to see Tkachuk stepping up. And yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. I tweeted something before this video. I said, what was it again? I said, I'm about to film a video right now, but I've got nothing to say. I don't know what to say. And I'm kind of rambling here. It's been 12 minutes. So once again, I'll cut it short, but it's just unbelievable. So, Sens lose. That's 4-9 on the year. That's 7 losses in a row. Dear Lord. Let's hope for a win on Saturday. So besides that, I'll see you guys very soon after this weekend, and take it easy. Hopefully we'll get through this, and hopefully on Saturday we'll get that W. So I'll see you guys soon. Go Sens, go.